Welcome. Hey there, that guy from Texas. Welcome, brother. Welcome. The devil conspired. Let heaven illuminate outside of you. Today, I'm talking about the greatest mind games and mind trick that has been pulled upon not just one person, not just two people, not just three people, but the whole world that we are in. And the whole world is either the conspiracy theorist or the one who's calling the other person a conspiracy theorist. So, because the ones who got this system in motion, who put this system in motion, wants you to think that it's a boogeyman, just like they want you to think that there is a God outside of you. Because once they got you thinking it's a God outside of you, they have separated you. They have conquered and divided. They have conquered and divided. Now, I have never tried to sell spirituality. I wouldn't insult the very people I fight for each day, each time in my heart in that manner at all. It's an insult to my people to tell them, well, in order for you to be able to do something, you have to pay me. You have to pay me and take my classes because somehow I'm special. Somehow I'm more special than you. So you have to take my classes. You have to let me help you tap into that. Matter of fact, on my channel, the problem has been people want to know these things. But I'm here to tell you, as I've always told you, it's an insult for me as well that my people don't know themselves and refuse to believe who they are, how great they are. That means that the devil has won. And every time I get hit, it's like the devil has won. But I know that's a lie because the devil is a lie. He hasn't won anything and never will win anything. Never will. And the devil is not an invisible spookism boogeyman. If anything, the unseen is what you want to gravitate to. The unseen, if you are hearing and seeing, that means that you're keen to it. And that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But they have us think that something, because they have control over the mind, and control is what they go after anyways. It's all they seek. But so therefore, information that they put out is held in a certain regard as considered reality and considered truth, no matter how bad it looks to my people that look like me and experience life like me. So many of them still agree with the insanity of the liar, Anytime you take spirituality, because spirituality is all that we ever had as a people. We never had religion, but I hear a lot of people say we have religion. We never had division, but I hear a lot of people say that we had tribes and we had division. But I have to say that we didn't need these languages. That's why these languages were forced upon us. English, French, Spanish. These are low-level languages. Let me tell you something. We had our own tongues. We made these languages for the people that occupied certain places. We did not need the language we speak in now. So religion was nowhere in our vocabulary. And you can take it back to the etymology and see that things really meant a whole different thing. You can't even really relate it in this language that much because it would be a little bit off. So that in itself should prove that religion was, if you're talking about the Gnostics and all of that, you're getting into the high priest at the time who came out and was actually formulating these things. So they were so basically mentally we didn't we didn't have anything like what we're dealing with. So when you say religion, you have to know that religion was given to the soulless. So therefore, when you feel like you have to run the same game on people with their own energies, you don't have to teach them anything. I don't teach. I show some things, how I do things, how I maneuver with my energy, but I don't teach you because there's a certain these things you have to figure out, you have to learn on through yourself on your own. Majority of the things we have to experience for ourselves. We have to do for ourselves. Like I'm experiencing my issue, my things on my own. I do my things on my own because everybody's going to have a different way of using their energy. So, our people many times are misguided to feeling like they have to sell to our people or teach our people. Our people are not soulless. So only those who are soulless would you have to show or teach. But your own people, you try to get them to relate, get them to bring out their greatest potentials, not try to push them into it, but allow them to flourish on their own and let them flourish on their own. All you have to do is just put it out in the universe and then let it go. And then show. You do more through showing than we do telling. And um, it's important that we know that the mind, we can create all kinds of things with our minds because that's where the spiritual is, the light, the spiritual. So we reach within and, like I said, let it illuminate forward. But when we allow lies like slavery, lies about slavery, lies about who we are. Those are serious things. Those are big things. There's a lot of big things that we've been lied to about. Uh, we've been also swayed certain directions. We should not, we should be unable to be moved, unable to be moved. That's living in our power. That I know 100% we have our power. You see. So living in the power is not allowing things to move you, but you move it out your way. Once again, you move it out of your way. So we're unwavered. We're not persuaded either or way. It doesn't control us. That's living in your will power. And the devil cannot do a thing about it. Cannot do a thing about it. They'll try, but they're stuck in religion. That's why religion was given to them. This is why religion was given to them. They're stuck in that circle of life. That circle of life, that idea, that belief. You see, we've been lied to so much that I can't believe that we got people out here talking about you're a conspiracy theorist, you're this, you're that. That's what they want. They love it when you argue amongst each other. They love you when you're dividing. And they'll have you think that money's coming your way for that. But greedy people don't share a thing. They might give you bits and pieces here. The greedy don't share a thing. They just like destruction. I'm saying take your mind back. That's the most important thing. To get your mind back. Because once you get your mind back, then you can formulate your heaven. So someone left a message and said, on my when I was working out today, uh hold on, let me get it. Okay. They left a message and they said, what? Oh, okay. First, it is the eating habit that will have to change tremendously. Only then success is guaranteed. Keep it up. Yeah. But I responded, yes, eating, but it's a whole lot of other things that have to change. The mentality has to change. Um, the way of life has to change. Um, your self knowledge about self has to change. You have to increase your self knowledge. You got to remember that you were a people who were cut off from your who you were. And they normalize being lost because a lot of people put their children in foster care and or get their children taken away. And I'm not saying that it doesn't bother people, but I'm saying it's normalized to be lost. And then you're like, so what? God will take care of it. God will take care of me. But then you're still empty. He's not doing it. He's not able to do it. For one thing, it's just a he. What about the feminine aspect of everything? So you're really, really lost out here not knowing anything about who you are. And many people think that that's not important. But if you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're supposed to go or how you're supposed to maneuver in the world, in this place that we're in. So being lost makes up a big portion of the issues and the problems that we suffer, because then we're here without any kind of knowledge of self, but yet, and not even knowing that all the knowledge that we need for self is within ourselves. All the knowledge that we need is within ourselves. So we're looking for things to fulfill what we lost. And us as a community, we look for materialistic things now. That's what we focus on. We focus on having that career that's going to get us the things that we need to live in this life, without even thinking anymore about how our condition, our situation was came about. So those we're trusting the system. We're trusting the ones who conspired, and we're speaking up for them. We're taking up for them. We're we're le- we're willing to give ourselves to the hell that they bring and they've made for us. And we don't want to seek the heaven that we have. We we fight against people, and we allow them to sway us to a point, um, that we're in burning in hell. So we think that it's nothing but hell here. But it's really what it is that matrix, that disillusion that you're under, the illusion that you live in, that you living in under. So we think that we can go to heaven after this life. So we never ask for anything because we think that just as their psychology is, the more you suffer, the greater your reward will be later, after you've passed out of this life. When that's far from the truth. Your reward should be infinity, throughout infinity. Your reward should be endless. Because if you want to put a God into it and say God is, in the place of nature, which is our nature, because we're connected, God did say that He made the garden, He made beautiful lands that if you lived by the universal laws and did everything, you wouldn't have to want for nothing. You really wouldn't have to want for nothing. But again, you're just looking at the masculine, but we got to put the feminine in there. See, in our minds, it's masculine and feminine. It's not just patriarchal, male, masculine. So, in order for nature, for science to work in that aspect, you can't just say God, He will do it. Because then again, what entity are you asking? Are you asking of who you are, your energies, what provided everything for you already on this earth that's non materialistic? Let me tell you the psychology behind interracial couples, especially the Black female. The truth needs to be told. We have been put in a condition that caused us to struggle a little bit more than others because of our color of our skin. So we're in a dysfunctional situation as a people too, as well. No one can tell me that, I just need to speak for myself on this because I'm looking at the communities and I'm looking at now the communities are integrated, at least in these areas that are like Virginia, Kentucky, Mississippi. Uh, I don't know about Atlanta, um, Alabama, uh, most places. Oh, New York. It's like the middle of America, and well, California. Majority of the places are integrated now. You go into the city, you can't tell what community is what anymore. But for the most part, we still have majority of us who live in communities where there's a church, a liquor store, and drug dealers who work for the Fed, who work for the government, or and don't know it. And we got gangs. So until that changes, you can't tell me that God outside of me or religion or anything that the devils conspired, but somehow some of our people can't see the conspiracy, but they want to call you just a theorist and the conspiracy. While the conspiracy is taking place every day, every minute, every second of the hour, it's nonstop. So, you know, and then on top of that, they con these, the religion part of it is a con game. Because how are you going to have somebody on top of our people pretending to teach us something that we already have inside of us? But yet our people are giving their money over to them. And nothing has been done about getting rid of the liquor stores, the drug dealers, the gangs, all the systematic stuff that's been put to put our dysfunction in motion. But yet, are people still looking for, they still say the devil, this, the devil that. When there's actually physical devils doing physical work. So the lies, like I said, a lie is a serious thing. It's very deep and it causes a lot of damage, destruction, death. Um, the lie does what it is put here to do. But the truth is meant to heal, to mend, to strengthen, to empower, to liberate, to grow. And the truth cannot be sold, although it's good, to tip those who are trying to help you, or help those who are trying to help you, are trying to show you light, to show you who you are, to tell you who you are, in appreciation. Now I know what the vibration was in my house. It's a critter. It's got to be a critter in my attic. So the power comes from you, and you are connected to nature. Biologically, we have that connection. So biologically, it's very critical information to understand, understand, and overstand. Because then when we look at it, the foods we shouldn't be eating, the medicines we shouldn't be taking, the things that are not conducive to us, we shouldn't be doing. But unfortunately, the lines are crossed and confusion is there, lives amongst us, of because of the lack of knowledge of self. Our health is our wealth when we don't even know it, or we don't want to proclaim it. What it is a lot of birds. It's a lot of birds, family. I do not know what that is. But hold on. Let's see something. So now, when they have these lies they put out, they taught us through school and stuff, we have to deal with them. Like, I learned about slavery in school. They didn't teach the Africans that same in details as they taught us in school. And in school, as I learned about it, it mentally affected me. It really mentally affected me. My confidence, my everything, it affected me. They're not teaching their children. They're teaching well, their children were in our classes when we took the slavery class in history or social studies. And on a continuous basis, even in the university, had to learn about the horrible things. I had to read about Congo and King Leopold, and because people write, and there was a lot of literature that we had to study on real accounts of people writing things. And these is truth. It's truth, hardcore truth. And sometimes it's hard to swallow, or it's hard to want to hear, digest, that people would think in that manner, that people would do things like that. you know like the story about uh it's just hard things, that I have to learn about, but we've had to learn it. We've had to face those things, and along with lies, along with the lies. But we have to differentiate through our minds, through discernment, which what feels right, what might be truth, and what might be a lie, through discernment. Because, and then again, what is it, building me up, or is it something that's taking energy from me? If it's taking energy from you, then more than likely it's a lie. If it's something that's building you up, encouraging you, like many stories do, to push you forward, then it may be some truth in it. But if it's something that's killing you, that is hindering you, then you may want to look at that and examine it. Like I said, have discernment. Because our whole thing here is empowerment, not to be controlled. But they cut us off from our self-knowledge so that we can think that we're supposed to be here, be under somebody's control, be under a God's control. You don't need no God to control you. You need to be the God that controls you. Because you already have control. You have that barometer within you. But if it takes a world outside of you to influence you, then you just don't have self-knowledge. Because you don't know who you are. Because that world outside of you shouldn't be influencing you in a bad way. You should be sucking in all the good influences And not only that, but influencing. So take back what the devil has conspired to steal from us. Because you can have it here, and that's control. That's your thinking. That's how you use your mind. No one can sell me. If you're telling me I'm this and I'm that and I'm great, why should I have to buy that from you? I'll tell you thank you, and I'll go off to myself and meditate on that thought, because that encouraged me. Not losing money out of my pocket that I am in dire need of, because I'm in a society that does not want that wants control over my pockets so that I might do their bidding and not my own, because you're God. That's why they want control over you. They want that power. And religion, the fact that it's in English and you can take it back, but it still means the same thing, just a different way of seeing it. You're not going to build a house on a rocky foundation, on an unleveled land, because you might wake up one day and find yourself in a deep, deep sinkhole. So, with that said, family, always remember true love, real peace, and the higher self within. The soul.